Hey, what's up guys? It is the Slifer Slacker back at it again with another video. In this one, we've got my Armed Neos deck profile. So, this one is more of a go second. This is kind of like, if you were to look at my other deck profile, the Cosmo Neos one, or the Shining Neos Wingman one, this is kind of the antithesis. This is the going second version that I kind of came up with. So guys, without further ado, we're going to get started. In this one, I've kind of changed it up a little bit. I'm running 2 Neos, 2 Spirit of Neos, and 1 of the Armed Dragon level 10. I would suggest, if you're going to run Armed Neos, I would suggest to use 1 of the level 10 dragons, or you can use Dark Armed Dragon, that's another one. 2 Stratos, 1 Blaze, 1 Liquid, 1 Shadow. So I kind of feel like this right here is the perfect formula for heroes. 1 Dolphin, 1 Panther, 1 Mole. I'm thinking this is like the perfect formula. I wouldn't change these ratios. I wouldn't add another Shadow Mist. I wouldn't add another Spacian. I wouldn't take nothing away. And triple Crosskeeper. We've also got triple A Hero Lives, triple E-Call, triple EN Shuffle, triple Neos Fusion because we want to see Armed Neos, triple EN Engage Neos Space, 2 Instant Contact, 2 Poly, 2 Fake Hero, Miracle Fusion, Rhoda, and the Trap. That's the deck. That's deck list, 40 card list, 16 monster, 23 spell, 1 trap. We're gonna shuffle up here. I'm gonna actually show you how you can use Armed Neos. So first thing we're gonna do, obviously, we're gonna shuffle up nicely because we're not one of those channels who really like fixes hands. We're one of those channels who just showcases how consistent our decks are. And that's pretty much it. And a lot of people, like I feel like when people review decks or people talk about decks, power, consistency, recovery, those usually are like the top 3 when it comes to building a deck. For me, I gotta say that consistency is the most important for when I deck build, because without consistency, you don't have power. Without consistency, you don't have recovery, and you're probably not going to be very versatile as well. So when I build decks, I always build for max consistency. That way the others kind of fall in line. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up here, and I forgot to show off the extra deck real quick. So obviously we've got 2 copies of Armed Neos, 1 copy of Wake Up, 1 copy of Cosmo Neos. I'm playing 1 Magma and 1 Storm. I kind of wanted to make a deck where we could show off the triple Neos fusions and see how they do. We've got Nebula Neos as well, 1 Shining, 1 Flare or New Flame Wingman, 1 Sunrise. Of the OGs, I've kept Dark and Air, and this can be Grand if you prefer. Being that we have Grand Mole in deck, I'd rather opt to play Dark because it's a straight negate. 1 Brave, 1 Flame, and 1 Grand Merge. I'm playing the Grand Merge simply because he's fairly easy to get into, and I actually kind of want to showcase just how easy he is to really get into if you need to nuke your opponent's board like turn 1. So guys, we're going to start off. Obviously, because I told you we are playing this as kind of a go second deck, I want to showcase go second hands for this one. So I'm going second. I need to get into Armed Neos, which I drew the Neos Fusion. I have a lot of things that I can play here. Obviously, if your opponent plays a Floodgate, you're shit out of luck. If your opponent plays a Floodgate, you just say lame and skip, or lame and scoop. All right, so right off the rip, I'm gonna go a Hero Lives. I'm gonna go ahead for Stratos. I'm gonna use Stratos to grab, I have so much shit in this hand. Good shit. I'm gonna use Liquid because I'm gonna send the Grand Mole because I don't really care about the Neospatians. At least for this deck, I don't care which ones I have on field or grave. I'm gonna go Ian Engage, play Grand Mole, send the Shadow Mist from deck, summon out, oh, not Dark Panther. Did I miss her? No. Send that. Get out into that. On summon, you're gonna go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. You're gonna get the Poly. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. That's gonna grab us. I would grab a Spirit for follow-up. And then off of him, I don't know, maybe you shuffle. Either shuffle. I mean, it doesn't really matter because if your opponent kind of can't stop what's about to happen, it's not gonna matter anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and use his effect to send him back to deck and get out the OG Neos. After I do that, I'm gonna poly between OG and Liquid. Getting into a copy of Infernal Rage. I'm gonna go Chain Link. Do I have Crosskeeper? No. I'm gonna go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. I'm gonna draw 2 cards, discard 1. We'll discard that, and then I'm gonna get to my trap. Add the trap. We're gonna go ahead and go Infernal Rage, send him off. Get out into Sunrise. Sunrise is gonna get us Miracle. I already have in hand, never mind. But now, what we can do is since we're playing 2 Neos in this deck, we can go Miracle Fusion. Miracle. Banish him. Banish him. Get into our Shining Neos Wingman. Get 1 to 2 pops, and then based on what your opponent has attribute-wise, you may get more. And then you can go for Neos Fusion. Sending our Neos and our Armed Dragon. Get out the beautiful Starlight Rare. Okay, I am just beating the shit out of my camera this video. Okay, attack, attack, attack. Depending on what your opponent has on board, general rule of thumb is when you get him out, he can target a dragon in grave and then destroy monsters on your opponent's field with a level. Level means you cannot destroy links, you cannot destroy Xyz. So level means normal monsters, effect monsters, ritual monsters, fusion monsters, synchro monsters. I think that's it of like the special, like the different categories of monsters. But anyway, monsters with a level. Xyz have ranks and links have link ratings. So this doesn't do shit to that. What you're gonna do is when you summon him out, sometimes it's not best to use this effect because he needs to attack in order to get his effect. Now, what you can do is if he has a bunch of links or Xyz and monsters with levels, you can use this effect and then just attack the link or the Xyz, send it to the graveyard, and then you get his effect. So we're gonna showcase that now. I'm gonna attack, attack, attack. Somehow with this board we didn't win. In the end phase, I would set favorite contact. I would let my opponent take their turn. I would use Armed Neos, tribute him off, and then literally after my opponent does anything that we can chain to, go into Cosmo Neos, shut him down. Okay? Your opponent is going to do whatever. We're not worried about it. We don't care. We get out Cosmo Neos. At the end phase, he goes back to extra deck, nukes my opponent's board. I draw. I can then not drop my cards. Fell on the floor. I can activate favorite contact to actually get out into pretty much damn near anything. You could get out into him. You could get out into another copy of him if you're running it. Whatever. Okay. That's pretty much it. GG. Your opponent's probably not going to recover once you get into the Cosmo Neos. If I were them, I would probably scoop Because at that point it's a lost game, because their whole board is going to be lost at the end, and unless they have a draw, a hand trap, something, they're not going to be able to do much. So what I want to talk about, and a lot of people aren't talking about, is this guy, okay? We are building this guy up probably because he's a beautiful Starlight Rare, but he does the same thing. Let me say that again. He does the same thing, but a little bit differently. So these two are pretty much the same card. And okay, this trend of new elemental hero is kind of ironic. Instead of just giving us retrains of the older cards, which, okay, they gave us one, they're just giving us ways to easily get out the older cards, which doesn't make them any more usable. But Neo's toolbox is hella crazy. All the different attributes have a weird niche effect. Glow, dark, air, grand, aqua. The only one I can say that honestly sucks and has really no niche at all is flare. But that's beside the point. So I'm going to showcase a combo with Grand Merge. And I can do that because my deck's hella consistent. So we're going to go second. And I want to get out Grand Merge. So like I said, with my deck and its consistency, I can just say that and it'll work. Now it doesn't, we're going second, so it's going to be even harder to do, especially with the hand traps existing and my opponent setting up a board. If they're not brain dead, they'll probably be able to set up something that has at least 1 to 2 negates or like an interruption, but we'll go with Hero Lives. We will summon out a Stratos, and Stratos will go ahead and search the Spirit. Alright, next, I would go Fake Hero, get him out. Fake Hero. Use his effect to Ian Shuffle. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to grab Ian Shuffle just because. Actually, you know what? I lied. Yeah, you know what? That's fine because it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and summon out the second Stratos. Use Stratos to grab a Neos. And then I'm going to send him back to deck and get out the other Neos. All right, set these aside. I'm going to go ahead and poly. Now, let me just say you're going to poly into him. He will have 4,200 attack. 4,200 attack because we've got 7 stars times 2, 14 times, what is that, 3? Let me double check. Yep, 14 times 3 is 4,200. So, and you can check that math. If I'm wrong, tell me what it is. I'm pretty sure I just did it in my head as 42, but not the best mathematician in my head. Grand Merge is going to attack. If he gets destroyed, whatever. You're only going to really summon him in certain situations where you know that your opponent doesn't have a negate, but they have a weird towers that you can't really battle over or destroy. So you're going to attack, destroy something, you're going to nuke him. You are then going to go into either one of two, either Storm or Magma. Why? Because odds are if your opponent has some weird towers, it is going to be something from the extra deck. If they oddly have a weird towers monster from the main deck, okay, kudos to you. So that would definitely make Storm a little bit more in the market as opposed to Magma, because Magma returns them to hand. Storm returns them to deck. Storm's a little bit more deadlier. So you get Storm out, okay? Say main phase 2, you declare main phase 2. Okay, I'm going to go back row wipe, okay. My opponent doesn't have a lot of things in their hand because they just invested in this big towers. He's going to go back to the extra deck and send everything back to deck. Okay. That's pretty devastating to us as well. If I was actually playing this hand to be a winner instead of just showcasing Grand Merge, I probably would have found a way to keep a Spirit in my hand. Just that way for a situation like this, and that would actually be the most intelligent thing to do if you do go for something like this where you do, you know, use one of the board wipers, we have the best card in the game to kind of like play around that. It's this card right here. So guys, this was the ARM Neos tutorial. If you have questions, drop them below. I literally love making these videos, so if you have any questions or want to see other combos, let me know. I'm liking the direction that they're taking heroes, and I just want to say one thing before I close this video. I hope to God Phantom Nightmare gives us 2 to 3 cards. Card 1, something that replaces Stratos as a searcher. Something that can search an elemental hero or Neospatian or an EN Speller Trap. Card 2, something that replaces Shadow Mist, so that way we can play pretty much an all anime / all anime inspired material. And I would want it to be something that is like you can special summon from deck. So like, okay, so you send the Shadow Mist, and then like say you send or not Shadow Mist, you send the new card, and I would want it to be something that is like relating to Necro Shade as well as Necro Gardna. But basically something where like it specials from deck. If it's sent to graveyard, you can special summon one from deck, and it has to specifically be an elemental hero because, I mean, Spirit is just really good. The last card, I want to see a Divine Neos Retrain. That would be amazing. Give us something that is like unaffected by card effects. Yeah, no, that's it. And then 8,000 attack. That right there, like literally make it the anime boss monster, like the, you know, something ridiculous like the Cyber Dark End. Or maybe not 8,000. Maybe make him like 5,000 attack unaffected. Give us something like that. Because if you got that out with Favorite Contact, that could be really dope. But guys, that was a combo video. Slifer Slacker out.